Turn the mic on, let it breathe. Tiff got heat, Punisher on the screen. 2 versus 1, talk tough, talk real. Hit the point fast, then cut to the deal. They laugh, they bite, they don't play safe. Every little story got a sharp edge taste. Coffee gone cold, but the takes stay hot. You lean in close when they hit that spot. Say it loud, say it clear. We came for the truth in the atmosphere. No filler talk, just a raw reply. One more question, watch it fly. Tiff and the Punisher. Say it again. Tiff and the Punisher. They cut to the end. Tiff and the Punisher. Keep it 100. Tiff and the Punisher. Yeah, that's the front row. Yeah, that's the front row. Yeah, 1 minute jokes, next minute truths. Every answer lands with a little bruise. They pull the thread, let the whole thing show. What was tucked away now, everybody know. From wild debates to the little details. Every back and forth got a story to tell. You want that spark, you want that bite. Turn it up once, stay up all night. Oh, say it loud, say it clear. We came for the truth in the atmosphere. No filler talk, just a raw reply. One more question, watch it fly. Tiff and the Punisher. Say it again. Tiff and the Punisher. They cut to the end. Tiff and the Punisher. Keep it 100. Tiff and the Punisher. Yeah, that's the front row. Yeah, that's the front row. When the room gets tense, they don't back off. One hard truth and the whole thing pops. And a quick little laugh, let the tension drop. And right back in when the next beat stops. Tiff and the Punisher. Say it again. Tiff and the Punisher. They cut to the end. Tiff and the Punisher. Keep it 100. Tiff and the Punisher. Yeah, that's the front row.
They are taking our kids every day. A child a minute, no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallets. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You will no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff! Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stopped losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She's tired of our kids being taken. God damn it, She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up by Tiff. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with hot speed. We will do so much being together. The birds of a feather flock together. So watch out, CPS, here we come, picking you off one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. So give us back the kids you have taken, sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher Warrior. And we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping.
What's up, Tiff?
Oh, it's Monday.
It is Monday. Sure is. Here's the Mondays of Mondays. Well, we were supposed to have a special guest, and maybe they'll still show up, but I don't see him in the back room. And I just reached out to him, and hopefully he'll hop on in here in a minute. But we couldn't leave our wonderful people, our wonderful peeps out here waiting, because that would just be rude of us. Because you know what? Without our fans, we're nobody anyway.
That's right.
So that's right. We can't be sitting around waiting for other people when we've got fans out here waiting to watch and learn and discuss things with us. And you know what? We've got someone just as special in this back room that's waiting. So if Mr. Garza doesn't show up here in a couple of minutes, and we're going to bring her out. And she is just as much of a special person and advocate, if not more so than him. So let's just wait and see what happens. Mr. Garza, your countdown is on. Hopefully he's okay. So Tiff, what's up with your letter? What did you do? Let's tell everybody about your new news.
Okay, so my 60 days were up July 21st for CPS. So I contacted my lawyer on Tuesday or Wednesday. He said, give them till Friday. If you don't have a letter in the mail by Friday, send out a demand letter. So I sent out my demand letter. I sent it to the CPS worker herself, the director of CPS here, and the regional director that oversees the Department of Social Services and CPS here in my area. So they have 5 days from the date that they get it, which should be for here tomorrow, her on Wednesday. So I'm going to give them till the following Wednesday. And then I'm just going to go file my petition in court. I'm not playing with these people.
That's right. Because, I didn't realize that how important it is to get these letters. So if CPS has stopped their investigation on you guys, you need to ensure that you get these letters, because this letter makes it so that they can't just come flying back into your life, right? Isn't that basically what this does?
Well, no.
Make sure that they don't.
This is what happened.
Okay.
I'm just going to say Virginia because that's where I live. Everybody's going to have to look at their closure letters. In the state of Virginia, even if the case was unfounded, they keep you on a list for 3 years for the same child. That's not good enough, right? You in Virginia you have to file a petition with the circuit court to have it expunged immediately, which means the case never happened. Nobody can come back and say, well, she had a case 2 years ago on this same child. So that's why it is so important to get a closure letter and an unfounded result, because then you can then take it to circuit court here in Virginia to have it expunged. And you have to have proof of malice or bad faith. Well, I have all my proof. I mean, we can't dispute phone logs. We can't dispute emails. We can't dispute doctor's notes. We can't they can't say anything other than, I guess we're going to have to. But I'm prepared for trial. I'm preparing for a trial. I got my whole list of people that I will be subpoenaing. If it goes that far.
Am I on that list?
No, but I will tell you, the people on that list, the CPS lawyer that I'm probably going to have to go up against, and the judge, they're going to be floored when they see who's going to be testifying on my behalf.
Oh boy, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what that list is going to be.
So then I looked up today about third-party service. So I can't wait till I talk to my little buddy, because I'm going to have her do third-party service, and I've already downloaded the form and got it ready, because I'm going to have her go subpoena all my witnesses.
That's funny. That is really funny. Wow, that's funny. Yeah, get the whole list. You know, enough is enough. And people might be like, "Well, Tiff, why are you going to make such a big deal about all of this?" Because you know what? It's these little things that aren't that little that add up to make these big things that they walk all over us about.
Yep.
It's all of these little things that slip by that make it so that we end up in this conundrum that we're into now, where we're just, our rights are being stomped on. No one's, like I had a couple different instances this week where literally some friends of mine were visiting, and they, for no reason at all whatsoever, there was uninvited or uncalled for visits by the local authorities for nothing, for no reason. But it's because we allow people to do these stupid little things that gives them this power. And people don't understand that. People don't realize that when you let your speeding ticket go, or you let this go, or you let this go, these little things all compound to be where we're at right now, which makes it fine for Child Protective Services to come and take our kids. Because 10 years ago, they weren't just showing up at your house tomorrow and taking your kid. They were, okay, we're going to put you in a safety plan. We're going to watch you for 30 days. If you guys don't comply within that 30 days, or there's no other thing, blah, 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 blah. But somehow along that line, we've allowed them to skip through all this BS and put them right into our homes, take our kids immediately. Like you wake up, you're cooking breakfast, and it could be at 7:30, you're cooking breakfast, saying goodbye to your kids. And at 7:45, they've come in and removed your freaking kids. You didn't even see it coming. You're blindsided because a stupid idiot school nurse called up and didn't realize that you already took your kid to the doctor and made some bullshit call about you. All of this in 20 minutes ruin your life, but it's because people don't pay attention to the little things that we need to pay attention to.
Yeah, and the absolute biggest reason you need to get it immediately expunged is because, let's say I just said, okay, whatever, keep me on the list for 3 years. At the end of that 3 years, right at the end when it's going to expire, they get another call. They can bring that case back up.
Right, and you're right back where you were in that system, right? Like you just step right back into your case.
Correct. So
there's no new plan, there's no new any of this stuff. It's just like bang, there you are, right back at it.
Yeah.
Like you never left. Not to mention, guess what? For 3 years, you're constantly turning your head.
Yeah.
CPS coming? Are they around? Are they watching? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? You know, like it's absolutely disgusting. Um, you know what? A lot of this is to blame on all of us for becoming so laxed and allowing these things to go on.
Right.
And I hate that because we all have enough weight on our shoulders and we all have enough, all of this burden, you know, that we all face and this shame and all of this stuff and these emotions that we feel. But you know what, guys, this is one of those things where we've got to be the front runners on this. We've got to be paying attention to this stuff. Because those little things make for big things. Let's take a peek here.
Yeah, if he's not in, you can go ahead. I sent you my demand letter. You can go ahead and read it because this is what I'm demanding.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to say hi to Louie and Susie's out there today. They're watching with us. As always, CPS Deadpool's in the house. Wait a minute. That wasn't an appropriate. That was not an appropriate welcome to CPS Deadpool.
This one's for Chris Naylor.
Hey, Tiff. CPS Deadpool. He's watching. He's here.
America's auditor.
That's right.
Born, truth sworn. Tyrants in the crosshairs. We coming for you. No more fake laws. Street justice. Real law.
That's right.
Land of the free. Home of the brave.
All right, so that's CPS Deadpool. He's in the house. So that's awesome. And I apologize, guys. I know that there's a lot of you out here that are watching for Garza. We're still waiting for him. I've just hit him up again to see. We were just speaking a couple hours ago, but I didn't. He's not in the back yet. I mean, he was on for the show, so I don't know what's going on there. Justin Harley's in the house. So there's the Canton Hall of Shame. Justin, if you want to come in for a quick second, brother, you know what? I'll put the code up, or do you have a link to come in? Why don't you give us a rundown of what you guys did last weekend? Because that would be really cool just to hear about that for a quick second. If you want to come in here and do that, because they just had a great weekend with the Angels of Advocacy group. I mean, they're out there doing stuff, man. And these guys need recognition. And now they're actually going to camp out on CPS's freaking front lawn. That's what they're doing this weekend. They're literally going to camp out in the front of the DHHS office in Canton and show their angst towards these people. So Justin, if you're still there, buddy, let me pop that QR code up here for you, and you can hop on in here. And then if anybody else is out there that's watching, that you guys were up here and you were anticipating the, Michael Ryland's back. Michael Ryland's back. He's watching us again. He's here. Things aren't going too well with his case, I can see. So I'm going to give him a call later on and see what we can do to help him out. That really sucks, buddy. It really does. Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, don't forget, we have reunificationcentral.com right here. And here's the QR code for that. Click on that. If you guys are missing your loved ones, CPS took your loved ones, make sure you sign up there. If you're a parent, if you're a kid seeking your parents, if you're looking for your brother or sister, if you're an uncle looking, whoever you are looking at CPS, so that CPS took your kids, sign up there. It's free to the first 1,000 people. After that, it's like $20 a year for the rest of your life. And that's just to make sure that after we're all dead and gone, that app keeps going. So we'll put it into like a little trust fund, and then we'll just let that baby keep making money. That way, for as long as when Tiff and Punisher is no longer, at least this app is, so that we can make sure that people are still finding their relatives. Because I just have a feeling that these guys are going to be around for a little bit more time. I mean, we all know that abolishment is what we're pushing for, but we got to do that. So reunificationcentral.com, click on that, baby. Check that out. We got our book, CPS, the Constitution is the armor, CPS is the enemy. You can get that on Amazon. You know what? I don't have a little button for that yet. I need to do that. Make sure you guys check that out on Amazon. It's a lot of jam-packed good information that you need to get when you want to fight these dudes, when you're ready to fight these guys. It's perfect for that. So it'll be like your own little pocket Bible. And Tiff, here's another thing. I looked into and I asked a company to ship us a lot of 100 of the pocket constitutions. So when we get those, I want to start, when everybody should have them. And I want to our fans here that we have that are always up here with us every day and everything. I want to send them their own personal copies, and each one of us can fill them out, to directly to them, and then we can send it to them, and we can do that. So yeah, Justin, are you here, my brother? Do you want to come in and give us a little rundown, or are you going to play chicken? Because you guys have a lot of cool stuff going on, man. Ooh, that's Gunning for CPS. He's not here right now. Let's see here. Join the podcast right there. Boom. There it is, guys. Yeah, good call. Good call, Louie and Susie. If you guys want to join the podcast, scan the QR there. If not, I will put the link in here in the chat here. I still don't see. You know what I should make is a Garza clock countdown thing and put that up. Maybe I will do that right now. I'll put one up for him. Let's see. Here's the link for the show. Justin, if you want to come in right now, Facts Over Lies is here. What's up, Facts Over Lies? Here we go. Just for Facts Over Lies and everybody else. We do this today. We salute these people right here. Oh, I don't have it over the top. Damn. I'm going to take our picture down for a quick second, Tiff, just so I can put this up over here. So I don't think I have this in the overlay. No, I don't. So, guys, on this day, I think that's the laundry list of things, Tiff. Oh, did I forget? What I did forget is that Tiffany has one of these. And had to bring that up. So yeah, hey, if you guys want to join the podcast right here, let's bring out the doc herself. I used to have a phone. I used to have a song for her. But let's see. Dr. Fowler, can you hear us? Oh no, her microphone is not working. And she got scared and she got out. So there she goes too. Maybe everybody's just afraid of us, Tiff. Maybe that's what the issue is here. Everybody is fearing us.
Why? We don't bite.
Well, you might get a Molotov cocktail thrown at you, but I mean, it's not going to be a bite, I guess.
I've only got just one podcast in the whole time we've been doing it.
That is true. You've only left one podcast. That was it. And that was that. And that was my friend. So that was that. I haven't spoken to her since. That's no longer a friend.
She got her kid back.
Oh, she did get her kid back?
Yeah.
She got her kid back. Can you believe that?
Well, good for her.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. But whatever. I mean, more power to her, I guess. Won't be long now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who's chopped liver over here? Becca. Jesus almighty, you're in the back. Becca's here too, guys. Becca's here. She's in the back moderating. She's checking things out. She's chopped liver. She says, don't ever forget what Becca does for us. She does many things. She has many fronts that she faces with us. She's the queen of no. I got to stop saying she's the queen. We got to come up with a different name for her. She is the something of the what's the word, Tiff?
Stipulation.
Yes, stipulations. She's the stipulation
Princess.
Okay, princess, dominatrix. Oh, all right. Well, how much time do you want to give him? I don't care if you want to bring him back now. We can do that. We can bring Daniel back now. If you can get him, bring him back in. Let's get Daniel back in. Oh, hold on. Eric Turner's in the house. There we go. All right. Eric has made it. Eric, sir, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing all right. So I did not see your email, but you're here now, so that's great.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So I'm new. Um, my name's Eric. I've been kind of fighting the whole DHS CPS system for a little over 4 years now. The email response that I gave you was basically I had I'd made so many reports and had been turned away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where they actually sent me a letter saying that their findings were because well the other party was unwilling to cooperate, um, and they closed the case. So I basically reached out to a couple of executive directors with the commission. It's an oversight committee for children and youth.
Yep.
Um, they conducted their investigation and said that DHS did not do their due diligence in any investigation, and
Yep.
they are and now they're sending so now they're sending everything that I've sent to them to to the director of DHS.
Good move.
So I guess what I'm trying to do is that it's great that I got answers. Well, that I'm finally getting answers.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we put a stop to this so it doesn't affect and it doesn't hurt other families who have been who have uh, who've been a victim of DHS?
Whew. Well, that's the tough question right there, right? Let's Eric, let's start this. You were making a complaint on DHS. This is very strange because right before the podcast tonight, when we were having our group meeting, we were just actually having this conversation with Dr. Fowler and Becca behind stage here, and we were talking about like making these complaints and everything. Who were you making your complaint on, and what were you going for first? Let's start there.
So the
Or
first
not
person
necessarily.
I
You don't have to give us an exact who. You know, if you're
oh no you're
protecting yourself from that.
yeah no you're fine. So
Okay.
and what I would suggest the first person that I would write to is your state's governor.
Okay.
Your state's governor, if you can explain exactly to him what is going on, it's his job to refer you to the right agency, and that agency will then reach back out to you, and they would you don't submit any evidence, anything that you have to the governor's office. You wait until this other entity reaches out to you, and then if they want more evidence, they'll request it, and then and that's kind of the steps that I took.
So you
Um,
seeked out. So I'm guessing that in your situation, you got wrongfully, something went wrong in your case. You definitely did not agree with what took place, and you were making a complaint towards the department. And then you know what, I like that going to the states. Is it the now? Let me ask you this question because I honestly don't know the answer. You said that it's his job to direct you to the proper department. Is that an obligation of his? If you ask him a question, do you know that? Is
well,
he supposed to?
I mean, technically yes, because he's in charge of this that specific state's over child protective services.
Okay. Yep.
He's in charge of all of those. So if it's not him directly who would be reaching back out to you, it would be more his administration. His office will. I mean, you
At
think
least
about it.
direct you.
In the state's capital, you have several different oversight bodies inside that capital.
Yep.
And so, yeah, basically what I did, but I kind of told them that, not kind of, I told them that if I didn't have a just resolution within 30 days, I'm going to take this public. I'm going to take this to the media. And
So you gave him 30
this,
days. So you were lenient, more lenient than most.
I was a lot more lenient than most. I um, in 14 days a response back from his office.
Okay. And then some
But
sort of action in 30 days.
30 days, I wanted a written explanation on why they didn't act in the best interest of my child.
Got you. Response in 14 days. Did you send him? So what did you send him? An affidavit? A complaint? Did you send him a sworn affidavit with this? Did you send? What did you send? Explain to us what
No,
you sent.
no,
Or you
I
just sent a
basically
letter?
just sent him a letter, just explaining my situation. I gave him the timeline is extreme. I mean, there were over 70 different referrals that have been called in.
Mm-hmm.
And every single one
Is
of
that
them
by
have been,
you?
that's just by me in a 5-year time frame,
Wow.
just
Holy
by me.
smokes.
So, and what's crazy about it is that this is the craziest part. My child she actually escaped abuse, got on a plane and flew across state lines to get away from the abuse.
Did she came back home? Is that
She's
what took
home.
place?
She's
She's
home.
home?
Yeah, she's home.
Wow. And she's safe?
She's safe. She's
Oh,
safe. She's
good.
doing great. She's thriving. After seeing what she had showed me and what she disclosed to me, it was more than enough. It was more than enough that there's no way that they should have uh, closed out this case based on the mother not wanting to cooperate. Now,
Right.
that to me, if I was an agent, a state agent, or a worker, to me that would raise tons of red flags to even push
Mm-hmm.
further to get through the door.
That's yeah, that's
So, so I don't know your situation, but I'm glad your daughter's safe. Here's the problem.
Yeah,
We do not have to comply with any government agencies. Okay. That is a right.
right.
I understand your frustration because if I was in that situation and they didn't do something, I would be mad too. But this is what people don't understand. Nobody has to comply. That is a God-given right. You don't have to speak to anyone. Um, and like I said, I understand your frustration and good for you. I'm glad you did all that. But I will tell you this, in most states, including mine, the governor does not get involved and they will refer you in most states back to the Department of Social Services.
Right. Kind of what happened with my case.
Right. But you got something done though. That's the difference, right? Because your child was really being abused.
Right. Yep.
But I
right.
want people to understand nobody has to comply with anybody.
Oh no, and that's not what I'm implying at all.
Okay.
Basically, basically what I'm saying is definitely defend your rights, because I know that there's DHSs out there, and I've got family where DHS had come in and wrongfully taken the children for no reason.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a ton of that. That's no reason whatsoever. There's I mean there's a ton of that stuff. And that's just becoming the norm, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. I mean, they're just blatantly going out there and like in Tiff's state, for instance, they've changed up everything for this next year, and they're just going out there and kid grabbing right now. All the kids they can grab, they're trying to go up and snatch them up as much as they can because the game's changed. And if anything, take a look at the state of Virginia. Or I was really looking forward to talking to Mr. Garza because he has a lot of things going on too that help in these directions. But take a look at Virginia and what Virginia's doing in their legislature. Because they're making things happen. I know that there's people out there and advocates that'll say that don't go to the legislature, don't do this, don't do that. It doesn't work. Every bit of help, every bit of everything will work. If we all just, maybe we can't all work together on the same page and as far as putting everything down on paper and becoming one and everything. But you know what, if you're doing what you're doing, and then I'm doing what I'm doing, and Becca's doing what she's doing, and and Chris Naylor's doing what he's doing, and Gunner's doing what he's doing, all of us are doing enough of different things that they're eventually going to have to, it's all going to converge on itself. I mean, maybe that's the way that this whole fight needs to work, is that maybe we need to realize that all of us don't need to have the same goal. We just need, or we need to have the same end goal, but not the way that we're getting there. You're damn right. A revolution will work, Erica.
Well, and here's the other thing, right? Like, this is just another example of CPS failing to do the correct job, right? They did not take this child out of this other home because they already knew this child was being abused, right?
Right.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I always give, as much as I hate it, I always have to say when they do the right thing. Like this weekend, a girl who I've known since she was a baby. God, when I say that, and then these people got kids, I feel so old. But anyway, um, her her son, autistic, got out of the house in the middle of the night looking for his older sister, who the visit was over. The sister went home and he was asleep. Somebody called the police because he was on the porch crying. Um, and they immediately called me. I said, CPS is coming. I'm telling you now. But here's what they did do. They understood that he was autistic. They had the police report. They are not opening up a case on her. And they actually gave her some vouchers to go get him some school clothes. So as much as I hate to say it, they absolutely did the right thing. Nobody was neglecting this child. It was the middle of the night.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, I kind of see that as like a wasteful, a waste of resources, because why didn't the person who had called the police go and knock on the door of the child's home and
Right.
say,
Why can't you?
home?
You know, it's like the people that are watching these people get beat up and shot up in these situations. Put your camera down and go help them. Maybe they'll live. You know, like put your camera down and go help these people. And that's the other thing that we got to, you know, like people need to be back into being in the action, not the observers. Like that's, you know, like I fear so much some sort of you know, like I've worked in disasters and everything my whole life. And I fear to God that I ever am around people that haven't been in that and around the people now, because I'm so afraid of people are going to run. Like we don't have people that run towards the fire anymore. They run away from it, you know, and that's it. You know, everybody talks a big game until, you know, the town's burning down. And then what are you going to do? You know, like that's just it. We all need to get back in that mentality. Like we are the warriors here. We lost you there, Eric. What'd you say with that right in there? Oh, we lost Eric. Well, it was nice of Eric to come in anyway. Good luck to you, brother. Yep. I take the fifth. Let's see. Who do we got? I'm going to try to hit Garza up again here and see if. All right, Eric Turner's back there. We got him back. Cool. While we're doing this. Oh, there you are, Eric. We lost you there for a minute. So, Eric, what is it? Yeah. So now back to the beginning of our conversation and what you were talking about. What is it, sir, that you need, that you're thinking that you needed assistance or some help with from me or from Tiff or from us, or what can we do to help you?
So I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure. I mean, I mean, our court systems and our family court systems and our DHS, I really feel are super corrupt, and we need like reform. Like we need some kind of reform. And you know, myself and along with a whole bunch of different advocates who are helping me out also are they're all wanting to speak. They all want justice. They want they want accountability.
Yeah. Well, let's get them on the show here and let's get their voices out. I mean, hell, if I don't know how busy you are and if you're into it, but I mean, you can even, you know, we got spots open. You could even have your own podcast, man. If you've got enough people out there to fill that and you want to be a voice and you want to help people's voice get out there, email me and let's talk about maybe you getting your own podcast going.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that because this has got to stop. I mean, because if not, it's going to affect our kids' future.
That's right. All right, Eric. Well, let's do that.
Hold on. Hold on, Darren.
Yeah.
I do want to know how his daughter's mental health is right now.
So she's been back for a little over a month, and when she first got here, right now she seems to be like kind of pulling it together. I mean, she's sleeping a little bit better at night. She still wakes up with night terrors.
Mm.
She feels like somebody's watching her constantly, and she's not as open as she used to be.
How old is she?
Well, she'll be 18 in 5 months.
Oh man, that's harsh. Oh man, I would suggest you get her into some kind of counseling.
And yeah, and we did that. We've definitely started that process. And luckily, I mean, there's people like you and that are out there helping raise awareness and get this voice going. And it's time for people to really know the truth about what's really going on. Because this isn't a cover up, and
Right.
it's
This is
ridiculous.
not fake. This is not a joke. We're very serious about what goes on here. And people need to start waking up to the fact that this is true and that this can reach you. I mean, it's reaching millions of Americans a year. Millions of Americans a year are getting touched by CPS, and it no longer is a game for poor people, because I hate to tell you guys, they're starting to run out of us poor people. And we're not us poor people. I make that as a joke, but like that's the other thing that needs to stop too. Is like them everybody categorizing us from losing our kids is that we're poor people. We're not poor people at all. You know what? And maybe you want to talk about being poor. Maybe some aren't so financially well off and all of that. But you know what? We were all rich in our family and the love that we had for our children, and they fucking stole that and broke our hearts and took that away from us. So, you know what? Stop calling us freaking poor people, because that we are not at all. And if we are, it's only because of them now.
I would, the single best advice that I could give to anybody who's listening and to anybody is don't be afraid to speak up. Eventually you'll be noticed.
Yep.
It took me a
Yeah.
long time to do it, but don't be afraid to stick up. These people think that they're above the law. Nobody's above the law.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he needs his own podcast with our group.
Yep. Eric,
So get with Darren.
you sent me an email earlier, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. And I got you on Messenger now too. Yeah, let me get in touch with you tomorrow, and let's talk about getting you set up and what we can do to get out there and getting your voice heard, man.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it. I really do.
Yes, sir.
I just have one more question. What state are you in?
I'm in Utah, but this isn't the state where this happened at. Oklahoma is.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know where you were. Oh, that's awesome. So we can get you a podcast, get you a song, get you
Yeah, we
all
get you well
kinds of
set
stuff
up, man.
going.
You got those people. Let's get the stories out there. Because what we try to do with all of this, like people be like, "What are you doing all that hootenanny stuff for?" and everything. It's not hootenanny, man. It's like building some people up. It's building your self-esteem back up, because people don't realize how slaughtered you get when you lose your child. Like people have no idea how decimated and destroyed that you get and that you are when they take your child from you. You know how hard it is. So you know what? It's the little stuff. It's like me making these songs for everybody and these little cartoons and all of this stuff. And like to some people it seems stupid or whatever, but it's a healing tool. It's making people feel better about themselves, and whether it's funny or maybe it means a lot to someone or whatever it does something to make people feel like it's okay to get up and show their face and start talking and telling their stories and getting out there. And that's what's most important,
Right. So I left something out, but so before all of this took place, see, I was awarded custody in 2009, and the state of Oklahoma made me send my daughter back to Oklahoma to a mother who has never been in her life for 12, 13 years, didn't put any effort, nothing. I had to send her back to a stranger. And then I get the call saying, well, they claim that I was the dangerous one. I've taken care of my daughter for the past 15 years.
Mm.
And now, and now all of a sudden, she gets ripped out of my life, and I lost communication with her for a year and a half. I actually
Oh
went to
my
Oklahoma,
God.
flew back there. I drove everywhere trying to find her. There was a mid region Amber Alert placed for her, and nobody could find her. Like, she just was gone. And it
Jesus.
definitely, I mean, to the psychological toll that it took on me and my family here. She's got other siblings too.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
was catastrophic. It nearly
Yeah,
took my life, and um, but don't give up.
that's right. But you know what, man? Here's the thing: is it's hard for a lot of these people. You know what? That's what we talk about all the time. Don't mess with people's hope. You cannot take people's hope from them. When you take people's hope from them, that's when they lose their fight. You cannot mess with people's hope. You can't take their hope from them, and you need to be able to show them hope in all ways that you possibly can. Because some people, that's all they've got left. You got to treat hope with like the utmost of respect and care.
Oh yeah,
Catastrophic.
yep.
So, all right,
Well, hey,
Eric. Well, let's
I
get.
really I appreciate you letting me be on here and taking the time to
Yeah,
talk to me. It's nice to talk to somebody about this, but
yeah. We're going to do more of that. We're going to do a lot more than that. You're part of this family now, my friend.
I
So,
appreciate
welcome to
it.
the family. Yes, sir. And I'll be in touch with you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Eric. And guess what, guys? We got Did you see who we got back there right now, Tiff? I think someone else out there wants to pop in and join us here. I don't know if anybody recognized this person here, but I think this is.
Hey, look.
No, that's not right one. The right one. Is it this one? All right, good enough.
Hey, who am I going to piss off today?
On the courthouse steps.
Guys, it is awesome. We are walking the dog in federal court. We've had the judge do exactly what we wanted it to do, to trigger even more constitutional questions. Why? The judge is now set up with certain things that are
This must be the president.
dismissed with president. No, some people are not watching obviously the show to where, dear God, man, no sense. Come on, man, you should be watching the show.
It
Anyway,
wasn't Trump.
it was Henry,
Ah, yes.
our old ADA buddy.
Yes, yes.
So this
Henry's
is
not
where
watching.
we've walked the dog because we've entered the constitutional question on basically on jurisdiction. Did CPS, when they took it to a family court, have jurisdiction? No. We know the answer. The 10th Amendment specifically says, and you can go look at it, these are the powers that are given to the state. And it says explicitly in there, unless those things are delegated already in the Constitution to the federal government. What does Article 3, Section 2, Clause 2 say? Under what? Cases that should originate in federal court. This little thing. All cases where the state's a party. Is CPS a state entity? Yes. Which court should they have filed that court case in? Not the lowest of the land, the Supreme Court. You just took over, and now let's get even bigger picture. So this goes to hey, now they're doing this the very first time. Okay. This was unconstitutional, the fact that that judge even presided over the case, because they never had jurisdiction, which means all of them will be considered null and void, or void ab initio, as we've talked about. Well, this goes even further. Why? Because the state itself in all 50 states, now, Tiff, pay attention here. This one's for you, because especially Virginia does not, and I'll ask Tiff. Tiff, doesn't the state of Virginia actually have statutes, codes, policies, and procedures that explicitly pertain to CPS, as well as things, the powers that go on in the courtroom to enumerate those things? So you mean the state itself is actually participating in the crime? Not only that they weaponize CPS, but they pass statutes and codes, or what they're calling state laws, that are unconstitutional. Now let's go back to the 9th Amendment. Those things are once again enumerated. So now when there's an argument between which also in the 10th Amendment says those powers not delegated to the state and also to we the people. We never gave them for the permission or the authority as we the people that they could have that power. Matter of fact, we gave it to the what? Federal courts. You're now imitating all of your judges and magistrates in all these family court cases are imitating a federal judge. That is a felony. That is a felony. What this also opens up, we said, well, what's that got to do? Well, CPS did it. Is not your judges and your state magistrates have an oath? Yes. What are they supposed to use? A constitutional lens. Why didn't they take and blow the whistle on this long ago? Why? Because they've been making billions off of this. What does that mean? That means that your state bar is involved in this shenanigans to make money, which makes them a co-conspirator.
Yes, it does.
Does it not? Now, well, what's that mean? Well, it can't go this. This is just, well, they had some hearings. Oh, no, it goes even further because then through this whole process and through their policies and procedures, they then apply for state grants or, for federal grants, I should say, that they turn into state grants and pass them through. And they get Title IV Social Security money. When they did that, they obtained those children to apply for that money. Well, on a case, they never had jurisdiction, which means you are now defrauding the federal government and we the people. You are actively involved in acts of treason, even to your legislation. Folks, this is enough to where, they turn around and it was put out there, hey, we're heading towards civil war. I'm not asking for civil war, but right now you're doing all the things that if the people rise up and they don't bow down, you're going to cause civil war. That's not me saying I'm instigating it. I'm saying you have broken the Constitution. You've assumed an authority you never had. All those are null and void, and all of you have made money on this. But all of you that are supposed to be lawyers, judges, magistrates, you swore an oath to the Constitution to uphold and defend it. Did you not? Then why didn't any of you morons, and you can't claim ignorance, especially judges and magistrates, because you are presumed to know the law. You stood there and did nothing, and you heard these cases and you adjudicated them, either administratively or judicially. You never had the power or authority.
There's actually a case out there from the Supreme Court that says ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Does not negate your responsibility for breaking the law or the penalty for breaking the law. Just got it. So what we're doing is we're opening your eyes to this shadow government that they were talking about and Trump was talking about. And the fact these administrative law judges are violating the Constitution, that both Pam Bondi and that they went out there in public. So now that they put that in public, we can bind them to their word because you did it in your official capacity. Y'all catching on how big this is, where the reckoning's going? This ain't no joke when this is filed. We're now going to connect the dots of saying, well, then it comes down to they threw up the flag for judicial immunity on things. You can't be immune if you're violating the Constitution. Thanks for setting that up.
Yeah.
Well, now you have to deal with the state. No, the state is complicit too. Why? Did they not file all these things based off of these illegal orders and everything else? Yes, they did. Why? Come on, guys. Get on board. Now, this should affect not just CPS, every person that's out there that is for the Constitution, constitutionalists, people that are claiming they're sovereign, and this. We, the people, are true sovereign. And when it comes down to the courts, it is already put out there when it comes between you and the state, who gets the ruling their way? We, the people, do. Why? We're the creators of the state.
Well, not only that.
The creation can't turn on the creator.
Right. Well, not only that, there is, I have to find it, but we are the beneficiaries of the Constitution. Any court proceeding that I have to read it, don't quote me on this. The Constitution is supposed to waive in the favor of us.
We the people. Now understand too, we need to go back to there's the Ninth Amendment that goes back and says that there are even rights that are not even been yet enumerated. So now we're going to go into that. Now you're looking at the state has now caused cruel and unusual punishment on these people by stealing their children and everything else. You're now looking at a state, all 50 of them. This is what we're blowing the whistle on. And then they started to go into, well, I think one of the other things that was in there, and you guys can read this publicly. It's all on Pacer. So there's nothing we can't talk about because it's out there in the public. This shows the RICO. They're all in on this. That means everybody that's in that courtroom is a co-conspirator in this crime all the way up to the state. But we're walking the dog and letting the judge ask the questions so we can trigger the response. Wait a minute. That's not where we're going. See, everybody goes, oh, well, you see, you're losing.
Oh.
You're doing this. And go, oh, no.
Gunner.
What you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Robert Garza is in the building.
Oh,
I am so sorry.
Mr.
I
Garza.
totally got lost track of time.
No, hey, you made it. We were going under the countdown, but you're here, so that's all that matters now. So we'll restart the clock. How are we doing today, my man? Other than being out of the time land, we're doing good.
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. What well, geez, where do we go? Where do we even go from here? We were just talking with Gunner about his federal case. Have you heard anything about what Gunner's doing, Mr. Garza?
I have not. No.
Gunner's asking. Go ahead, Gunner. You can go ahead and do this.
well, you are an active card-carrying member of the bar, correct?
Oh, no. I'm not a lawyer.
Okay. I was just making it clear for the audience so we have that thing. What I was enlightening is part of the federal question. We filed a constitutional question with my own personal case of mass corruption, but the fact of the 10th Amendment and Article 3, Section 2, Clause 2. The 10th Amendment explicitly says that they will be delegated these amount of powers unless they're delegated to the federal government and the rest is given to the people. Well, all cases where the state is a party, which CPS is a state entity, shall originate in the federal courts. Article 3, Section 2, Clause 2. CPS is a state entity. Therefore, your state never had jurisdiction to hear these cases for over 30 years. Which means they've applied for federal money under Title IV, which is now defrauding the federal government. The state is involved because they've passed policies, procedures, statutes, and codes to get them into their lower courts. They're all complicit in the RICO Act. Your whole government, your whole state has turned on you and on all the we the people. They assumed a power that was delegated to the federal government. And once this gets answered, it means what? Void ab initio. They never had jurisdiction.
Okay. So that's
so that means all the kids come home as soon as you get that. That means every case that every family court judge in all 50 states has ever ruled on is void ab initio, void from the beginning. In other words, that ruling or anything happened, TPRs, adoptions, this and that, are all null and void.
Yep. If you can void it before that, yeah. Or after
it. Which is exactly what's before the federal court. And then it triggered the thing that most recently in the case of, well, they have qualified immunity, this and that. No, they don't. Because qualified immunity goes if you're operating constitutionally. Well, you can't do this and that if the state doesn't allow it. That's only when they're operating constitutionally, Your Honor. That's getting ready to go. That does not apply.
Right.
Their immunity goes out as soon as they're unconstitutional.
Yep. That's true too.
Now here's the other thing. How is it all these judges, all these magistrates, let alone family law attorneys in all 50 states that are usually make up the largest part of the bar, nobody's discovered this, that nobody had jurisdiction because they're all getting paid.
Right.
They're all complicit in the crime. They're co-conspirators.
Right.
That's a crime against the Constitution.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now we kick in the Declaration of Independence. This is now tyrannical. This is now an Eighth Amendment of cruel and unusual punishment, because now you've kidnapped these children and crimes against children.
Well, not only that, I learned this when I got my certificate when I took the constitutional course. The Declaration of Independence is actually a restraining order against the government for we the people.
It is our political stance as a United States citizen. No other political stance should we have, is the way that is interpreted by the Supreme Court. The Federalist Papers, those are the things and the ideas and the ideals that pushed, which is why they go back with SCOTUS, not everybody else does, all the way back to its original meaning, and quotes it. I mean, Neil Gorsuch does this, Clarence Thomas, several others, and I know the Punisher out there. I believe that he's out there. What's he under CPS? Deadpool here's in our comments is fully aware of those things. I know Aaron's aware of these things, but now it raises the question: what does this do? It destroys our state government. You have to. These people cannot actively serve involved in one of the largest criminal enterprises in our history by our states. So now this is what's behind the court now. So definitely spread the word on that too, Mr. Garza, because I know you've got a lot of that, but I believe a lot of the politicians are in day. Hey, have you guys looked at this? Why? There's a constitutional question and a case just on this. And if that comes back, which we know it to hold true, because SCOTUS says the Constitution says what it means what it says, that power was never given to you by the Constitution itself. So they can't even argue, well, we can't. No, you can. It wasn't given to you.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Garza, yeah, it is. So let's turn this into asking you this question. 43 separate investigations. What was your defense mechanism that kept your kids and CPS away from that? How did you beat CPS 43 separate times on their fights with you? What was your...
Yeah, you have to stay on them. You can't just let them do whatever. You have to be very proactive and front load when CPS comes after you with a false allegation. You have to timeline everything. Timeline is going to be your biggest weapon against someone that is making false allegations or a narcissist or anything else, because you can actually show that you were with this person for several years, never any police involvement, never any CPS involvement, and then all of a sudden you file for divorce. Now all of a sudden you're a molester, you're a monster. So imagine if you file in, I don't know, February 30th, but yet February 14th, there's all these cards that you're the most amazing father, the most amazing husband, blah, blah, blah. So you bring that evidence in and say, look, this is such BS. It's only after that you filed is why they're doing what they're doing. And so when you can show a pattern of bad behavior, and usually right before they do a false allegation, it's because you didn't do something for them, whether it was given to their Christmas demands or whatever else. So then you have that email showing what that was. And then, so you just have to be very proactive for it.
Now, let me explain what he said in a legal, constitutional, what he's dealing with. What he's dealing with is what's called the absurdity doctrine. It's a constitutional canon. And what the family court is dealing with is the absurdity doctrine. But once again, it's within the reverse. They don't have that power to use that absurdity doctrine, because that's actually used just for constitutional issues or anything to do with law. He's having connection issues. Becca can bring him back out. But the absurdity doctrine is a constitutional canon. There are several constitutional canons which we have already filed with our court or our judge. Case law is irrelevant. We want a fresh ruling with a constitutional canon leading the way. In other words, you must apply all constitutional canons. This is where it kind of messes the court up of saying, oh, wait, we can't depend on this or that. We have to use this. So what the family court is doing, he's saying, hey, listen, we're using the absurdity doctrine, saying, hey, this is kind of absurd. They're ruling off of those things where he's saying, hey, they're taking in all these absurd things because why are they absurd? Because there's no foundation or any facts as what you're saying. In other words, there's no clear and convincing evidence to make those allegations. Is that where we're tracking here, Robert?
Yeah, so you just have to. The thing is, these people get paid very little. They're not trained very well, and so you have to spoon feed them. So when you're talking legalese, they don't understand what you're saying. It's like foreign to them. So literally, you have to spoon feed a different way, knowing that, yeah, exactly.
I'm
All right,
just
hold
saying
on,
this is
Bernard.
what I've come to find out is how they're doing the family laws. They're using that constitutional canon, but they're using and applying it completely wrong. You know,
Yes. And the crazy part is with family law, and a lot of people don't know this, is that, like even a proposed order after the judge rules, if opposing counsel puts in that proposed order and you don't object to it, then that judge is going to sign off on it like you agreed to it.
correct,
And so
correct.
it's all these little nuances that you're getting beat on procedure because you don't know that you're supposed to object to it. Same thing when you're testifying. If someone's on the stand testifying, if you're not objecting to it, that means that you agree that whatever they're saying may be truth, because if
Yep.
not, you would be objecting. So
Hmm.
people don't know how to do these things.
Well, that leads me back to the origination of the problem. See, our founding framers explicitly said for this experiment known as a constitutional public to work completely depends on a well informed citizen. They kept us ignorant for a reason out of these courts because which is why it says in there, you notice they've changed in Miranda that you have a right to an attorney or a lawyer, right? But the actual Constitution says counsel. Why would it say counsel? Well, they're practicing law without a license. No. As a U.S. citizen, I'm supposed to be well informed and be able to do these things.
Mhm.
But you kept me ignorant because
Yeah.
you didn't educate me. You took federal money, public schools, all this stuff. Where do you teach this to where before they graduate, 18, become an adult, they should have a full comprehension and understanding of the Constitution and how it works. And here's the reason why. How many of those kids go into military service to defend the Constitution and know nothing about what they're going to possibly die for?
Right. I have a quote. It's Miranda warned you, family court proved him right.
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
Okay, so I got a question. So, have
What
you been
color
to
is it?
Virginia? Have you been to Virginia yet with your time taken, time given back?
We've talked to senators and House reps. I think we actually have one that's going to take it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's great because I was going to tell you, I sit on the legislative body here for Virginia, so I was just going to give you a little bit of help there.
That would be amazing. Let me look. I can tell you in about 2 seconds. I can just look
Okay.
at my bills online. Yeah, if people want to see the bills, they can go to robertgarza.us, and all the bills, there's about 12 bills that are already amended for all 50 states. So you just click on the bill, click on the state, and you're in business. And it looks like nope, time taken, time back is not in Virginia right now. It doesn't have a bill
Oh,
number. Yep.
okay. So we'll work on that. What about Delaware?
Not Delaware either.
Ah,
Most of these bills are written in the last 8 months, and the reason for it is because I passed it in Texas, and it went through unanimous, bipartisan the first time. The governor signed off on it, and I went through 43 false allegations. As soon as it went through, my ex stopped making false allegations, and so it worked. And then North Dakota contacted me, and they wanted it, and so. They passed the bill also. So now it's a law in North Dakota. And then it went to Utah. Utah just passed time taken, time back also. If you go to bills, you can go to explore bills, and then you can see it. Yeah.
well, the reason I asked you about Delaware is because my brother-in-law is a state senator in Delaware.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that works. It's a great bill. That one stops false allegations pretty much immediately because I call it holiday hijacking. Right before a big holiday, you'll see a big line of lawyers out the courthouse right before Christmas, right before spring break, and right at almost the time the kid's getting out. So from noon to 3, before that kid gets out of school on that weekend, there's tons of lawyers filing false protective orders, restraining orders to hijack that holiday. And so, what the time taken, time back does, when there's no finding of abuse or neglect, when they return the child, they shall return the time, same type of time, same exact amount of time. So, if you hijack someone's Christmas, you're going to miss 2 in a row, or their spring break or anything else. So, it disincentivizes making that false allegation.
Well, that's great. Darren can get you in touch with me. So I will try to when you get it to me, I will send it to my body here in Virginia, and then I will talk to my brother-in-law in Delaware about your website and your bill because of me, he's kind of dove into it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can explain it. I'll book a call with him or whatever. Yeah, no
Well, that's
problem.
great. And I'm glad that you're out there. And I'm glad people are listening.
It's changing the way the court system's working because before people couldn't articulate what the problem was. They could just say, or a lot of people couldn't, for the most part, and that's been the issue. But now we've been teaching people. In fact, there's a Zoom call behind you or on the computer. There's about 40 something people in there. Every Monday and Wednesday, I teach the 12 bills that I have. And we teach normal people, moms, dads, grandparents, how to get these bills into your state. And it's just copy and paste. I've already amended it for your state. So basically, you just copy and paste it. It already has an email in there. You just put your name on it and send it to them. And then it books a Zoom call with them. And then they give us the Zoom link and we pop in and they tell them what the problem is. We tell them what the solution is and they take the bill. We have about 30 bills right now in multiple states going through your legislature right now. But what it's mostly doing is bringing awareness to the problem. Now people understand that there's false allegations because now we have a solution for it. And then problem with interference with child custody. We also have cameras in the courtroom. We have appealable temporary orders because why the hell are you going to wait till your final order to be able to appeal something if the judge does something wrong? So appealable temporary orders is a massive bill. And all these are one pagers. We have paternity fraud. So the state can't put you on child support unless there's a waiver that you sign
Yeah.
or a paternity test. Only 2 ways you're getting put. No more default on these parents. It's such a bad thing. And so it's a one pager and it's a no brainer. And so it stops a lot of the Title 4D money also. Same thing to stop a lot of that Title 4D weaponization. We actually have a bill for all 50 states too. It's for dual calculation on child support. And it takes both parents' income into account and the amount of time you have. And so that stops a lot of the Title 4D and the weaponization right there.
Yeah, because
So
there's several cases that one of those bills you're talking about to where you've got courts ruling, oh, here's a paternity test. I'm not the father, and the state is still making them pay child support. That is so illegal.
you know what? There's
Watching
a
those cases, I'm over here like blowing my mind. Like, are you kidding? You know?
Yep. And there's also a federal act called the Brady Act. That one has to be repealed. The Brady Act, if you find out, let's just say you get put on child support, they defaulted you into it, and you found out you're not the parent 4 years later, and you owe $70,000 in back child support. The federal Brady Act will not let the state so once you get off child support and you're not the father, you still owe that $70,000. You still get thrown in jail. You still get your license taken away because of that federal Brady Act. It doesn't just go away. You still owe it, which is the craziest thing. That's why the paternity fraud bill is so good, is because you're either signing the waiver or defaulting or DNA test. Now, also put in the bill too that if you sign a waiver, you're at the hospital, you think your kid's yours, but you find out 2 months later that he's not. Even though you signed that waiver, it's not, you can still back out of it with a DNA test. So,
Well, I know, ladies, I already know you're going to blow up my shit and tell me how wrong I am. But here's the thing. I
I
don't
knew that
think
was
the
coming.
man should be responsible for paying that money back because she knows who she slept with.
But she'll
yeah.
deny the hell out of it, won't she?
But a
Well,
DNA test will prove that he's not the
Don't
father.
tell no lies.
Therefore,
Yep.
I believe, and ladies, I'm going to say it again, you know, we're cruddy, but I believe that the woman should pay that money back. Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's fraud.
yeah.
Yes.
But that's not in the bill because they would never pass it. So we're just stopping that weaponization before it starts. And that's where real change comes from.
Well, what is about all these things that we're seeing about child support being unconstitutional? And some of the arguments they've had has been very strong due to the fact that, like, my state, this and that, part of that administrative fee that they collect for that goes into the judge's retirement fund. So now there's a huge conflict of interest because they're financially benefiting from these rulings.
So I have a 1-page federal bill that would stop the Title 4D weaponization. And it's very easy. And basically it's tied to child support, right? So you untie it from child support, you tie it to court compliance on, let's just say 50-50 shared parenting. Now you've solved this solution. You still have that same funding without the weaponization for it.
Sounds
Done.
like a good.
It's
plan.
a no-brainer.
Yeah,
And the same thing
yeah.
with there's another one. It's Title 4E, which is what do you call it? Foster care. So
Foster care,
yeah, so basically all you do with that one is you untie it from not blood or like kin relatives, and the federal funds only go to if they're placing that child with kinship or like kin. Other than that, now you can keep track of the kids because now that kid is still in the family or someone that's like family versus a total stranger that doesn't know that child. And that's where all the trafficking and everything else comes from. So you literally untie it from unkin and just tie it to like kin and be done. That would stop a lot of the weaponization for it right there, and they still get their money.
Yeah, I
Well,
definitely need that bill.
Yeah.
I'm so illiterate with this. Somebody's going to have to send me the one for Virginia and the one for Delaware because I'm definitely going to produce this in my next meeting.
Well,
So-
that's a federal bill, and so
That's
'cause it's-
okay.
yeah, because it's federal funding. But I'm telling you, I have solutions for all of this family court. In fact, the whole reason for me making my website is because if anything ever happens to me, it's right. The cat's out of the bag. Cat is out of the bag. It is right there for all 50 states, the solution, and that is the solution until it's not.
Well, going into the part of the argument too, with that, where you're taking kids and putting them into foster care or anything like that, the other issue they're dealing with, and not with familiar, is you're dealing with the actual individual's heritage, their history, their story, that this and that now you have stolen all that because that information cannot be done, passed on like it's supposed to, which now, once again, that's like a gentrification, type thing. Those are crimes against humanity. You can't take away in other words, I'm going to kidnap you, completely reprogram you, and traumatize you and put you into this cycle and this system, which we know, and it's well documented they do, but you're losing all your heritage. Like, do you have, Native American heritage? Have you have people that have done things in world wars? Some of, connecting your family with this country is now completely wiped out. That what kind of damage? I mean, have you guys looked at possibly incorporating that into the damage you are actually doing to the child because of those things?
Yeah. So a lot of these just are no-brainers, and like you said, I mean, it's just, why hasn't anyone thought of this stuff? Because they've made it so convoluted. And most people,
Money.
they're going in playing checkers when it's a whole chess game going on. And if you don't understand the rules, then you're not playing the same game.
No.
Well,
What?
I will say, here, of course, we all know CPS doesn't play by anybody's rules but their own. But anyway, So we got a bill passed here, I think in 2022, um, for kinship placement. Of course, CPS doesn't tell you this, so I had to blab it everywhere. So in Virginia now, if a kinship or fictive kin is denied by CPS, they actually have to write a letter to the board of social services and explain why. And they only have 15 days to do this. So that's a law we got
Yeah.
passed here in Virginia.
Do you want me to tell you how they get past that kinship? So imagine I'm like I'm watching somebody's kids, like my sister's kids. So CPS comes to my door and I answer it, and they ask for my sister, and I say she's not here. And I'm like, well, what's this about? And they're like, well, she's we need to see the kids. And I'm like, you're not going to see them. And well, she's been accused of child abuse or whatever. And I'm like, oh, my sister would never do that, blah, blah, blah. Right now, I've just become basically I can't watch the kids. I can't be even thought of about the kids because I just said that this person didn't commit the abuse when they said
You're
that they
not
did.
being
So
a
now I'm an
neutral party.
accessory. Exactly. So now I'm not a neutral party. So I've just excluded myself without knowing I did. That's how they
So
get around stuff like
yeah.
that.
So
Well,
instead
that's
of
why.
saying something like that, like what you're saying, hey, I can do this and that to help those people out here, say, well, a person's innocent until proven innocent until
Guilty.
proven
Yeah.
guilty in this country. So I'm going to reserve any decisions until the court goes through a criminal process.
Right.
That's
And that
neutral.
and that is one of the reasons, because the case started because of my daughter, and I was out here with 12 police officers, a CPS worker, and marched them off my property. That's how it started. And I went to my delegate and I said, hey, this is what happened. And she was like, well, why won't they place them with you? And I said, because they called me belligerent. And I was out there screaming constitutional violations, civil rights violations, human rights violations. She said, absolutely not. It doesn't matter. You are kin. That's not a good enough reason for you not to take those children. They're your grandchildren. That's how the bill went in effect. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And understand too that CPS has been trained for those responses or to fish for those to disqualify you. It's part of their training.
Yep. For sure.
So to understand when they're doing this, this is why we tell you guys all the time, record, 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 record. Why? Because they can put it in a court document or anything else and take what you said out of context. But there's no argument when you actually record them. And there's many people that go, did you forget the fact you were recorded? And I'm going to submit that because that's not what I said, nor was it within the context. You read into it. And then show it to the judge or the court and let the court decide.
There's actually a statute here in Virginia that says anyone involved in a CPS investigation is allowed to record CPS. And they don't like it. They don't know that people know what this statute is. And I give it to them all the time. What do you mean? Yes, you can. The state of Virginia has a statute right here.
Once again, ignorance. This is part of going back, Tiff, to what I said in the origination, even of our constitutional rights. It's keeping us ignorant. And the problem is of what we're doing, especially here, or I know the goal of Darren and Tiff and myself is to educate the public to a point that we are a well-informed citizen. So we know what our constitutional republic is and how it needs to survive before it's overthrown. Because that's the ultimate goal, is keep you ignorant. And once you lose the understanding, I didn't know I had those rights. I didn't know that thing was a statute. Once again, then you could put it back on them. Like Tiff said, once I present it to you, you have to change course. Once I have articulated it, which is why they push so much for attorneys. No, a well-informed citizen go, no, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Now you walk into a courtroom and you say, Your Honor, before we get started, is CPS or the plaintiff over here, are they a representative of the state? Yes. Your Honor, you may want to look at the 10th Amendment in Article 3, Section 2, Clause 2. You can't have jurisdiction to even hear this case, and you can challenge jurisdiction at any time. Now you got a problem because you're now committing an act of war against we the people in the Constitution because you just violated your oath if you proceed. You're saying you have jurisdiction, but the Constitution says you should have never. Now that's a conflict because what do you do? Because, well, I'm just going to go, as soon as you go on, boom, like you said, hey, we got to wait till the end of the case. No, you don't have to wait to the end of the case in any state for certain things to go to the appellate court. Why? Because you can do a mandamus. You can do a writ of centurion at any given time during your case to go up to the appellate court and make the state appellate court make that lower court comply, saying they are not operating within their statute codes or within their oath of their constitutionality. That is an option that a lot of people don't realize that they have. And yes, it works. And yes, we've done it. Matter of fact, I've seen judges recused of themselves, recused because of those. And all of a sudden, here comes the appellate court of saying, you must this, you must this, you must this. And now understand, they ain't going to beat up their own people real bad. They're just going to kick usually the judge off the case and then give you somebody else and saying, you're going to abide by this, but also you got to know your powers, that if you don't abide by this, I'm going to escalate this to a constitutional question as well as a case, a civil case against you to stop this, which means now everything stops. And then you can go into the federal court and say, listen, the state court is not acknowledging the supremacy clause of the Constitution and saying they're allowing this to go on, which it's not supposed to, even with their own statutes and codes. And I've seen people, like I said, that have done this, that have, slapped the face of the state Supreme Court in other states doing this. Of course, they love to seal those cases to where you can't see them. I mean, have you seen a lot of that in your research too, Robert, where you're looking at cases and stuff to where I'd like to know more, but they're sealed?
I don't research cases that much just because my ex tried to seal my case and I argued that she couldn't overcome the 3 burdens that she could seal it. I wanted mine public because I'm like, they were gonna seal it, but had I not known that you had to overcome 3 different burdens and brought it up on the record, the judge was like, yeah, he's right. She was about to seal it. And I'm like, nope. Texas Family Code, you have to have 3 of these separate things, and they couldn't meet. They met 1. I was like, they still need 2 more. And I was like, absolutely not. And so, but you have to, that's what I'm telling you. You can't literally teach all these people to play chess when they're still playing checkers. So there's too much to learn.
So when do you do your meetings again?
Every Monday and Wednesday. So if anybody wants, they can go to my Facebook page, Robert Garza, or they can go, well, actually the better place to go is my website, which is robertgarza.us. At the top button at the top, it should say join team, join, and you get the Zoom link every Monday and Wednesday. And we help this out. Or we figure this out. We put bills into your state that would have stopped the weaponization before you lived it and your children. On Tuesdays, we have a therapist come in. His name's Rod McCall. And we have a support group. It's totally free. All the legislation's free. Zoom calls are free. The signing up to join the team is free. We charge absolutely nothing ever for legislation. We come to your state. You're more than welcome to join us. It's free. We just don't pay for you to come or anything else. But you have to foot your own bill on that one. Testifying's free. So, but on Tuesdays, if you want to join the support group too, we send a Zoom link out, to a separate one. And we help people go through what they're going through without your kids, because it's like you're grieving the loss of a living child when they take your child from you. And the person that actually is the therapist in there, Rod McCall, he was a teacher, went through family court, and the judge went through a couple of false allegations. Judge found out what was going on, told him to go get his kid. He showed up at the door with the cops, and the mother said she was going to tell the child bye. I think he was about 7 years old. Took him upstairs, shot the child, and shot herself while he was at the front door. So then he became a therapist, wrote a book, and so he's in there for free. You're more than welcome to come in every Tuesday too. So, yep.
And what time are these? I'm only want to see if it's with our
Yeah, it's on Mondays. Well, I don't know. It's Monday and Wednesday is 6 p.m. Central Time, and the therapy is, or the support group is at 7 o'clock Central Time. Yeah, but you can sign up on robertgarza.us and join the team. You were talking about judges a while ago. What was it? Man, I can't remember what you said. I had something for you, but. Mm, it slipped my mind. Never mind.
I also want to thank you for coming on our podcast. I know that your time is very important. Um, and we appreciate you taking your time to come on our podcast. Um,
Oh, no
can
problem.
you tell, can you
There,
tell, go ahead.
there's more changes coming. I'm telling you, Texas is we're passing bills. We just got parental rights put in the Texas Constitution. We just got SJR 27, which it puts 7 citizens on our Texas Judicial Misconduct Board. So when you write a grievance, there it goes to judges. Crazy enough. And so we were seeing those in all states. Less than 1% of your grievances are being reprimanded, or being finding
Yeah.
judges accountable. And so what we did was we put 7 citizens on that committee now. And so that one is going to be on my website pretty soon too, to be able to pass this in your state also. And so we're about to see those go up dramatically. There was another one. I don't know. There's so many things coming down the pipeline that they're all no brainers. They're all one pagers, and anybody can pass these. You just have to sign up, and we can do it in your state.
Well, that's great because all our bills have to be in by November.
Perfect. We'll get 12 of them in really quickly.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to let
Well,
you know we're on a deadline in Virginia that we got to, all our groups have to have all our bills ready to go by November.
yeah, and
Perfect.
see, this is a great resource for both Tiff being in Virginia. You're in Texas, Robert, because like I said, once some of these decisions go on and these systems are gone, we have to rebuild. What I'm saying. We have to have an understanding of how the bills work and this and that. And people like you and Tiff that understand these processes of how to submit bills to the state, how to get them voted, this that are going to be intricate as part of a rebuilding process. And I just wanted to let you know, like I said, I appreciate both people like you and Tiff that understand that, or have the time, because it is time consuming to understand even just one state is overwhelming, to get through a lot of their loopholes and a lot of other things they have for doing bills. But as things change, the rebuild process, that we're actually looking at or for, are going to depend on people like you and Tiff to have some common sense of saying, listen, this just doesn't need to be, or maybe we need to take and just get rid of these, more of an insight.
So I remembered what I was going to say. You were talking about whenever you do mandamus, or when it goes, whatever you have, and you have a problem that you found and it goes to a higher court. I have a bill right now that, because this is a big issue, and I don't know about, I'm pretty sure it's the same in all states, but in Texas, whenever you overturn a judge's decision with an appeal or appellate or Supreme Court,
Mhm.
it goes, you go back to that same judge again. That is the most worst thing that you could possibly do.
Oh, thank you.
I have a one-page bill
Thank
right
you.
now that will fix that. Now it specifically says in there, and it's a one-pager, that whenever you get something overturned, you have 20 days to recuse that judge, and they shall be recused. They have no discretion on it whatsoever if you've already overturned something, but that's
Mhm.
20 days. Or you can do nothing and keep them, but at least now it is a choice.
Hey,
That
Robert.
once
Robert.
again, that's perfect.
Hey, Robert. Justin Harley asked this. He says, "Hey, Robert, the last time we talked, I asked you about plans to close the loopholes in the appeals process. Do you have any update with that?"
In the appeals process, I'm not sure what close the. I mean, like, the judge did something wrong. I mean, what kind of appeals thing are you talking about closing?
I don't know. This is a guy, Justin
Oh.
Harley, is asking this question of you. He said, "Hey, Robert,
Yeah.
the last time we talked, I asked you about the plans to close the loopholes in the appeals process."
Well, the biggest one that I could do is that, well, I mean, there's some, all of these, there's so many things. My whole thing is on most of these bills is for you never to even get there. We're going to add cameras in the courtroom where the judges aren't going to end up on, don't want to end up on YouTube. We're going to do the time taken, time back. Most of the time that people that your child gets alienated is either by a false accusation, and they take the child on a precaution, or they interfere with your child custody. Both of those I've already solved. So when you want to talk about putting parental alienation in the DSM and whatever else, I want to stop it before it gets to the parental alienation. And so all of my bills stop a lot of the problem that you're seeing and trying to fix. I don't want to fix it down the road after it's already, I want to put a new tire on it rather than fix a flat once it gets down the road or whatever. I'm not doing that. We
Right.
want to put we want to put things in place where you're not having to appeal anything because it never gets there.
Right.
Well, I want to suggest something for both you and Tiff for your states, and this is anybody listening to. When are we going to take and pass a bill that actually takes and holds lawyers accountable, family lawyers during divorces, that recommend to their clients to open a CPS case just to get to custody or more child support? Because we all know, I mean, everybody's smiling, both Tiff and we know this is happening.
Yeah, so I have one called Alienating Behaviors, and it's reimbursement of fees for parental alienating behaviors. That's one of them, right? So false allegations, interference with child custody, gatekeeping, all of these games that the lawyers are teaching their litigants how to play. Your ex didn't wake up or file something knowing how to play these games.
Right.
What's going to happen is when this bill goes through, these alienating behaviors, you're going to be responsible for doing this. You're going to pay all the fees, opposing counsel, and it has a whole list in there. It's all the professionals, the psych evals, the home studies, the parent facilitators, everyone. But what's going to happen when I'm the one doing it, and now all of a sudden the court dings me for parental alienating behaviors that my attorney taught me? I'm going to turn my attorney in and say, "Hey, judge, he's the one that taught me how to do it. Now I'm going to file a grievance with the state, the bar association for my attorney teaching me these things." Now there's going to be accountability, but a different way. And so that's where it's going to stop it. They're not going to want to keep playing these games and teaching their litigants how to do this when there's going to be consequences for it.
Well, I
Hey,
think you better
Robert,
get on a
here's
plane
a
and come
question
to
from Ryan
Virginia.
Martin for you. Is report my caseworker? How do I caseworker for going against my rights?
I mean, anybody else can take that one on. I mean,
I'm just reading off these lists of questions for you, my man.
the thing is, you're asking the abusers to stop abusing you. When you're asking CPS to do something to a caseworker that it was their own lack of training and the high turnover rate, that you're not going to really get accountability there. And so all these things is, there's so many holes in the system, but I'm trying to solve like 90% of the top ones, rather that way they don't get to the bottom. Disincentivize making the false allegation in the first place rather than trying to come up with a penalty for making the allegation. You see what I'm saying? Like, really disincentivize it.
So
and then
why not go and just do this one simple thing? Switch instead of adoption, switch the words adoption for reunification in all of this, all of it, all the way around. So instead of incentivizing adoption, you incentivize reunification. Everybody still gets their money. Everybody can still keep their hands in the pot, so no one's complaining, and families get to stay together. Just change that one word in all the bills. Just reverse that one word.
I mean, it sounds simple, but I'm not tracking what you mean. I know if you really want, here's the thing. If you really wanted to change how the whole federal system works, you just you can change it very quickly. Instead of, there's a there's a statute. Let me see if I can find it for you. Y'all go ahead and talk. I'll tell you this, and it's going to blow your mind. But it's going to blow your mind.
But I mean, it's that simple. If we could just change, and I know everybody says, no, it's not, because you know what? We in this day and age with Word and all of these other things, it's very easy to find and replace. And if you just promoted the family and made the family reunification the actual goal, like Title IV says that it's supposed to be, because all of these, everybody forgets that Title IV is supposed to be for reunification purposes only. They don't get that money for incentivization until incentivizing after they reach that 15 to 22 months. Then it changes to adoption. But yet they're all going for this goal of adopting, you know, because of the ASFA stuff, because of the, oh, you get this money. And at the time, the ASFA stuff made sense because there was an overabundance of kids in foster care. What they didn't do was take away the incentives. That's what they should have done once they got those numbers down. They didn't do it. So now that's why you have everybody crying for incentivizing. So you take away that ASFA number and you change, all you have to do is change reunification and adoption. And then all of a sudden you have caseworkers working for keeping the families in the home, keeping the kids in the homes, opposed to finding them an outsourced family. That's all. It's that simple.
Now remember, Darren, who actually got that federal law put in place was the private adoption agencies. That's what Valerie told us.
Okay.
Everything was fine until the private adoption agency said, oh, this is a profit we can make. Let's make it the time shorter, and we'll incentivize all the states that can put these children up for adoption.
Right. And it should have went away once they reached the numbers down, but it didn't.
Right. But why? Listen, remember, I should have had a V8.
No, I know why.
Common sense that they don't want to look at it.
No, because they
Go
all
ahead,
have money.
Mr. Robert.
Okay, so I just put it in the chat just so y'all have it again if anything happens to me. But so the 1977 Federal Cooperative Agreement Act, you can change it. So it's changed from states needing to be mostly in compliance with federal law and the Constitution to completely compliance with. You change that little phrase from mostly, because that's how they're getting federal funding right now. You just have to be mostly in compliant. You change that to completely. Now all of the states have to comply with the Constitution. Done.
Right.
Which means they would never get them under what we proposed due to the fact they violate the Constitution and never had jurisdiction.
Correct, but they're still in compliance because they mostly see what I'm saying?
It's like the difference between
they can't get any funding if they're not completely in compliance. Now you've just made your state a constitutionally strong, and there is no federal funding for anyone that doesn't completely comply, and that's statewide. So now all of a sudden they're going to start complying with the Constitution. Right now they have it in 1977. They changed it to that 1977 Federal Act. It's mostly. It's going to blow your mind. It really is that easy to change. It's not that they won't ever change it, but it really is that simple.
Right. So,
well, now let's go into one thing deeper. If you're talking about mostly, well, one, you've got constitutional rights that you should have never been in court in the first place. But the second comes down a little bit more complex is, how did CPS get the power to investigate the state appointed actors? And now follow me. When we, the people, elected a duly elected sheriff to do those duties, the state has no right to replace duties we, the people, have elected.
Right. So, I mean, there's so many things, but there's people that want to get rid of family court and do constitutional stuff. There's people that want to just burn the whole system down and whatever else. I'm trying to fix the problem that the game that is present right now. I'm fixing that way it's not being able to be weaponized. So until you can abolish family court or whatever, I'm going to change those rules in case you don't succeed.
No problem.
And everyone, but you have to go at it at all different ends. So
I agree with you 100%. And that's one of those things. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but hit them with this over here, and this here. Why? Because all those collectively go towards one thing of, you're not operating constitutionally or lawfully or legally or any of these things to understand those. Once it's unconstitutional, the supremacy clause of the Constitution kicks in of saying you can't. And that's where it's supposed to stop. That I think that we're, with the lack of education of saying, if it's not constitutional, it can't be lawful or legal.
Right.
So my group this year, just my group, we're working on family memoranda. I actually took the Texas one and the New York one, and we're going to try to make one here in Virginia. So I definitely want to get in touch with you, because right now is the most imperative time for us to get these bills in, because they're going in November and then they vote on them in like March or something.
Yeah.
But
Did
absolutely,
they go into effect like July 1st or something? Like a lot of states have that state. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yes,
So that's pretty common for the states to do stuff then. Okay.
right. So I definitely want to look at your parental
Right.
rights bill that you said you just got passed, because that plays a lot, right? I just took this course, and my printer's not right, but I just took a course in fundamental law last night. And to my surprise, they were talking about parental rights and what our rights are and how they're the foundation of this country. But yet we have family courts, CPS, lawyers, and God, whoever else we can throw in the mix, right? That said, you really don't have any rights, because now CPS is involved, or oh, mom's accusing you. You said you were accused of stuff. I know Hunter or Gunner was accused of stuff.
So
Who
a lot
has
of this
the right
stuff,
to tell you that? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
a lot of this stuff, it went wrong, and it's still wrong right now. There's supposed to be a separation of powers. The bar
There it
association
is.
should not be anywhere near the legislative branch,
Pleasure
and
branch.
yet they want to go ask their opinion on these things. They were never supposed to be and should never be any part of the legislative process whatsoever.
Let me point out something real quick, and a lot of people, our audience or anything else, can look at this. Go look at your papers, because like mine, the CPS attorney wrote the summation and the judge just signed off on it. You can't do that. That's a separation of powers right there. They're literally showing that CPS is running the courts.
Well, not only that,
There's your
how,
evidence. I mean,
how is the Bar Association going to come out 2 years ago knowing, and I have it, knowing that CPS targeted African American and Hispanic children, and they've been doing it for 40 years. So you kept this secret for 40 years, and you expect people like me to trust you? You've got to be crazy.
Yeah.
now add
I've
the fact
seen
of the 10th Amendment and the Article 3 that they've been hiding from everybody for probably just as long.
Yeah, I've seen lately, because we help people get their kids back and stuff like that. We've seen a very big uptick in CPS going after people with multiple kids, because it's easier to get 5 kids at once than it is for one. And they're doing it. I just got someone's kids back recently. On my website, you can actually book a call. That's the only thing that costs, but because I rather work on legislation for free rather than do that. But if you want me to help you with your case and stuff, I do that. But that's the only thing it costs. You can book a 30-minute or an hour call. But these people, CPS took this person's children and they put them in 3 different foster homes in different cities. And they told me what the case was. I saw where they did the wrongful stuff that they weren't supposed to do. And so I said, look, give me the CPS person's number. And they did. And they gave me the guardian ad litem's number. And I called them and said, look, I'm with this organization and we're going to look into this case, because it's national. I'm sorry. I was with a national organization before, and I told them what it was. And I was like, we're going to look into this case and we're going to see if you did something wrong to take these kids. And this is going to be reported to the senators and House reps. Within hours, the family had all 3 kids back without any hearing, without anything. They were like, oh crap. And because they know they did something wrong. And, but I'm not saying we do that to all of them, but this one was very blatant what they did wrong. And I pointed it out very quickly and they returned the children very fast without any hearings, without anything. So, and then another thing they keep trying to do is get you to sign away your rights to the kids. Absolutely 1,000% do not sign anything. Make them fight if they're going to take your kids, because they have to do it by clear and convincing evidence, not preponderance. Clear, they got you where you got you on preponderance, but is it more true or less true? Make them take away your kids. Do not ever sign your kids away. I don't care if they say, we'll still give you pictures and whatever else. Absolutely not. They're basically saying they don't have a case and they want you to hand the kids to you, hand the kids to them rather than fighting for them. Make them fight.
Intimidation, coercion,
Yeah.
anything else.
Well,
Make them fight.
Anything to sign, yeah.
We call that signing a plea agreement.
Yeah, make them fight.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Oh, that reminds me, if there's a case here, and to most of you don't know, a Whistling Diesel that turned around and had that whole thing with his Lamborghini or whatever it was. And the state actually came to him and says, listen, if you do commercials on boater safety, we'll drop these charges of misdemeanors, this and that. And he's over here like, if you have such a case and it's that bad that you're going to charge me with a misdemeanor, but you're going to give it away for this is both. No, I'm not taking that deal. I mean, that's where those plea deals, a lot of people will just take the plea deal. You could do this and that. They don't, if they're offering a plea deal, it's not because they have a strong case always. If it was a slam dunk, they would not, because it costs them more money.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand what it takes. I mean, you guys can look into it, but I don't know what it is per state or per county, but what is the cost or the burden upon the state to actually have a full hearing?
Right.
Yeah, versus a plea deal.
Cool.
Huge.
Well, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
They're about to dance with me, and they're not going to like it because I'm going to come out on top. I got my shit together. They were wrong. They're going to have to comply, bend over. They're going to have to be the ones bending because I'm not bending. I didn't break. I'm nothing. So you brought it to my front door, and now the fight is on.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Garza, we are hitting that time. I'm sure. I'm sure you got things to do. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Really appreciate it. I don't see any other questions up here that anybody's. Oh, you know what? There's one right here from CPS Deadpool, and he's saying you keep talking about in case something happens to you. Are you alluding to something? He asks.
I mean, there's threats that you get all the time, just because of what I'm doing. If you think about what I'm doing is I'm changing the legal system, and I am not an attorney. I am not a judge. I am a parent that has went through this for 17 years. I spent $700,000 just being able to be in my children's life. I am a fit parent. They were never able to take my kids from me. I have joint custody. I see my kids. So what I'm doing now by changing the system, it's a lot of money. So if you think about it, just time taken, time back, and the 3 strikes law stop a lot of the games that the family courts are able to play. And that's where a lot of this money comes from, is causing conflict, and especially shared parenting. Mm-hmm. The bills that I even have 50-50 shared parenting bills that nobody can really argue. It's a 1-pager. It has domestic violence built in. So if that's the only thing that domestic violence people are against, is if there's domestic violence, and I've already built that into my bill that nobody deserves 50-50 if you have substantiated abuse, not alleged, substantiated. Yeah. And so they really can't argue that one. And then also that the judges, if they're going to give you anything less than 50-50, they're going to have to put it in writing and use clear and convincing evidence. And this is going to blow y'all's mind, and I hope y'all regurgitate this one. You can't even reprimand an attorney with the bar by preponderance. They only use clear and convincing evidence. So if they can only reprimand an attorney with that, why the hell is it in our family courts taking away parents' rights with preponderance.
Mhm.
Boom.
Into that. Love that.
Nice.
All right. Mr.
Dan,
Garza. Yes.
Get
What's
get
up?
my information to him, and he can call me whenever.
Yeah.
But we
Nice.
definitely need to talk because I think you might be making a trip to Virginia.
Yeah, I go in front of I'll go in front of any legislator and they can grill me all day long and I will it blows everyone's mind. I will fly there on my dime. Yep. All right. Well, thank you so
sent
much
a
for
friend
having me.
Hey,
request.
and,
I sent you a friend request, Robert, on Facebook, so we can hook up later on the show at your convenience, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it from Gunning for CPS is one of the network stations, which I'm under this same umbrella with Darren and Tiff, the CPS Breaking News Network. Yeah, we would love to have you on here. Definitely. Great resource,
Yep.
man.
All right.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you
here's
for your help, guys.
yeah,
Yep.
and here's here you go, Mr. Garza. This is a gift to you from us right here. This is your tune that we did for you. So have a listen to it.
Tried to write my page. Papers in the night, kids ripped from my hands. CPS on the hunt, playing God with the plans. 700 grand just to fight for my blood. Now the courts kept grinding fathers into the mud. They took the days, they took the years, but they couldn't take the fire that still burns here. Robert Garza, time taking, time back. Robert Garza, we bring the attack. No more false reports, no more stolen nights. Robert Garza, standing up in the fight. Time taking, time back. Time taking, time back. Wrote the law in blood on a Father's Day stage. Senate Bill 718, cutting through the rage. 3 strikes for the liars, equal rights from the start. Now the system feels the heat from a father's heart. From Texas to the coast, the rebellion's awake. One man's war became a movement they can't break. They took the days, they took the years, but they couldn't take the fire that still burns here. Robert Garza, time taking, time back. Robert Garza, we bring the attack. No more false reports, no more stolen nights. Robert Garza, standing up in the fight. Time taking, time back. Every empty chair, every missing year, every false report that filled a parent with fear. We remember the cost, we remember the names. Now we bring the war, we set it all in flames. Robert Garza, time taking.
We know it's all about the money, we know they lie, we know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?